Welcome to Mbose Educator. Mathematics Class 10, New Book, Chapter 2 Polynomials, Exercise 2.1, Question number 1, Part number 1 to 6. This is Exercise 2.1. In this exercise, only one problem is there. We have to solve that. Question number 1. Question number 1 has 6 parts. Part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. Next, part number 4, part number 5 and part number 6. Let us read the question first and try to understand this. The question is, the graphs of y equal px are given in figure 2.10 below. For some polynomials px, find the number of zeros of px in each case. So here some graphs are given. In these graphs, we have to find the number of zeros of px. Number of zeros of px means actually this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. The graph intersect the x-axis in how many points. The number of intersecting points in x-axis will be the number of zeros. Let us solve one by one, then we can understand easily. Let us take part number 1. In this graph, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Now we have to check the graph. This is the graph actually. This graph touch or intersect at how many place or how many point in the x-axis? Nowhere. That means this graph does not intersect any point of x-axis. This means there is no any zero in this graph. So we can write like this: number of zeros equal 0. Or we can write there is no any zero in this graph. Alright. Let us take part number 2. In part number 2, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is the graph. And this graph intersect at how many places or how many point in x-axis? This is the point, in one point only. This is the number of zero. One point touching in x-axis, that is 1 0 is there. Alright. That means number of 0 equal 1. So we can write number of zeros equal how many? 1. Sorry, I have written here 0, it is 1. Alright, let us check part number 3. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is the graph. Now let us check in how many points the graph has intersect the x-axis. So you can see this is 1 point, this is another point, and this is another point. These are the 3 points where the graph intersect the x-axis. This means this px has 3 zeros, 1, 2 and 3. Number of touching point or intersecting point are the number of zeros. Alright. So we can write here the answer will be number of zeros equal how many? 3. Alright. Let us take part number 4. This is part number 4. Let us check the graph has intersect how many points of x-axis. Alright. This is the x-axis, this is the graph, and we can see here this graph has intersect x-axis at 2 places. This is one place, this is another place. So we can write here number of zeros equal 2. Alright. This is part number 5. Let us find the number of zeros of px. Number of zeros of px means in the x-axis in how many point the graph has intersect. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point. This means number of 0 equal 4. Alright. Number of zeros equal 4. Next, part number 6. In this part, let us check in how many point the graph intersect x-axis. Touch or intersect, both are number of zeros. All right. See, this point has intersect, but this point just touch. This is also one point, and this point also touch. Touch or intersect, we have to consider both as the number of zeros. So in three places, one place is intersect and another two places touch. Intersecting point as well as the touching point will be considered as number of zeros. All right. So in this question, we can write the answer as number of zeros equal 3. 1, 2 and 3. That's all for this question. Let us meet again in the next video. To get all the classes regularly, please subscribe my channel. We shall meet again in the next video. Till then, thank you very much.